This argument is largely incoherent. Now, that is a direct quote from the judge, who at the time was discussing a particular part of Drake's case. Let's get into it. It's been dismissed. Let's talk about it.
Y'all know who I am, y'all know who I am. Adrian, I be in the cut, I sizzle with your man. Don't be mad at me because he recognized the brand.
When we kissed, I perceived his pleasure through the magic, and I used that feeling to guide him to even more gratification. He reached through Unliksana to feed my bliss, which fed his, which fed mine again. Our insatiable longing blossomed into the highest form of euphoria.
Yeah, you also check out Zeraxia.com if you are into that kind of stuff, and if you're tired of seeing only white people and straight people on dragons and stuff. Like, girl, we can do magic too, you know? Like, come on. Okay, y'all, so this is coming from Billboard. A federal judge on Thursday dismissed Drake's defamation lawsuit against UMG, his own. When I found out it was his own stuff, I was like, what are you talking about? UMG over Kendrick Lamar's Not Like Us, ruling that a war of words during a heated rap battle did not violate the law, and that some of the case was logically, like I said, incoherent. Now, Drake's case filed earlier this year claimed that UMG defamed him by releasing Not Like Us. And we all know that the song branded him as a predator, and that's really that is a synonym for what Kendrick used. Okay, the word he used. Now, Drake believed that millions of people took that lyric literally severely harming his reputation. Now, like I said, I don't know how this is ruining his reputation or sullying his reputation when there's certain just Googleable facts about Drake that it's like, bro, you did that to yourself. What are you talking about? You did that to yourself. Talking about, oh, this is harming his reputation. The reputation came packaged harmed. What are you talking about? So the article goes on to say that, well, now 10 months later, Judge Jeanette Vargas granted UMG's motion to dismiss the case at the outset, ruling that Kendrick's insulting lyrics were hyperbole, the kind of hyperbole that cannot be defamatory because listeners would not think they were statements of fact. I think this argument, this is so interesting to me because I'm like, girl, to me it's fact. But I do understand like the judge's perspective that, hey, y'all were in an arena of this entertainment arena, so now you whipping out this defamation stuff. It don't make no sense. Like, so we're gonna see what she's talking about. The judge wrote, the artist's 7-track rap battle was a war of words that was the subject of substantial media scrutiny and online discourse. Although the accusation that plaintiff is a predator is certainly a serious one, the broader context of a heated rap battle with incendiary language and offensive accusations hurled by both participants would not incline the reasonable listener to believe that Not Like Us imparts verifiable facts about plaintiff. So yeah, like I said, to me, this gives like, hey, y'all were like, this all started out in the arena, the entertainment arena, and like, y'all are talking in hyperbole. This is a war of words. This is poetry. Like, and that she's just like, I don't know what to tell you, mama. It's like, I don't know what to tell you. So the article says the ruling marks an abrupt end to a legal battle that stunned the music industry. Few expected a rapper to respond to a diss track with a lawsuit. I mean, I guess it was pretty shocking, but then when you sat back and thought about Drake's Can I Speak to the Manager built, essence, it becomes less and less surprising. You know what I mean? He got the essence of a asymmetrical Bob coming in, like waddling in to ask you where your manager is, looking in your face, and you're the manager, but because you black, like, you see what I'm saying? Like, that's the energy that Drake give me, girl. So of course you gonna run to the lawsuit, girl. So a move that drew ridicule in the hip hop world and condemnation from legal scholars. Fewer still expected him to file it against UMG, his longtime record label, and the biggest biggest music company in the world. How sore of a loser do you have to be? Your own record company. Drake's attorneys can appeal, of course. I'm sure they're going to do that. I don't know. I just have a feeling like he's going to press them well, we got to appeal it. And I don't know, like the judge is really looking at this like, girl, y'all started in the arena and y'all want to bring it out. And I don't have the time for this. Move it along. So I don't know how successful the appeal will be, but I would not be surprised, I'll say, if his attorneys end up trying to appeal this. So in a statement to Billboard, a spokesman for UMG said, from the outset, this suit was an affront to all artists and their creative expression and never should have seen the light of day. Oh my gosh. We're pleased with the court's dismissal and look forward to continuing our work successfully promoting Drake's music and investing in his career. That is so shady. That is so shady. They said, girl, I mean, I don't know why he's biting the hand that feeding, but we gonna continue to try and make our money off this man and keep it pushing. That's it. They said we don't know what's going on, but we got some billboards to put up to sell this man's music, bro. Anyway, back to work. So, of course, UMG argued that allegations that they waged a campaign against Drake and spread a malicious narrative about him being a predator that they knew to be false. UMG argued that those allegations were clearly meritless, that hyperbolic insults and vitriolic allegations are par for the course in diss tracks and cannot form the basis for a libel lawsuit. The company pointedly noted that Drake himself was happy to make such attacks, including accusing Lamar of domestic abuse until he lost the battle. And that is true. The dispute got even nastier after the Super Bowl. So in her decision on Thursday, the judge sided entirely with UMG, ruling that normal listeners would not expect accurate, factual reporting from a diss track that was filled with profanity, trash talking, threats of violence, and figurative and hyperbolic language. So she was like, girl, it's already a mess to begin with. Look at it, she's like, girl, this was already a hot mess soup, and you mad because a particular ingredient is you know what I mean? She's like, why y'all over here cooking the soup in the first place? She pointed out that Drake himself had engaged in similar language. Remember, we've been talking about this. As soon as he filed the suit, we've been said this. The judge pointed it out, quoting from a line in Family Matters in which the star was heavily implying that Kendrick Lamar is a domestic abuser, and another in which Drake says he heard that one of Lamar's sons may not be biologically his. So the judge continued, the recording was published as part of a heated public feud in which both participants exchanged progressively caustic inflammatory insults and accusations. This is precisely the type of context in which an audience may anticipate the use of epithets, fiery rhetoric, or hyperbole rather than factual assertions. And honestly, my annoyance with Drake aside, my annoyance at his presence on my screen aside, I am glad that the judge ruled like this, because I can't imagine the kind of precedent it would set, right? If they were like, oh, well, no, we can actually go in here and now really sue y'all over diss tracks. It would just change the landscape of the music industry, of hip hop, of it just, you know what I mean? Culture, it just would. And also by his own rule, by the thing that he was trying to set up against, UMG, he himself was not going to measure up to that standard, because like the judge said, like people pointed out, he was doing the same thing in his diss tracks. So it just doesn't make no sense. It didn't make no sense. That's what the judge was saying. The judge also rejected Drake's arguments about the popularity of Not Like Us, saying she could not make that kind of retroactive analysis of artistic expression. She wrote that when Lamar wrote his song, he could not have been aware that it would break streaming records, win Grammys, or be the centerpiece of a Super Bowl halftime show. The judge is saying, yet plaintiff would have the court divorce the recording from the context in which it was created because of these subsequent events. Whether publications constitute actionable fact or protected opinion cannot vary based upon the popularity they achieve. Constitutional guarantees do not rest on such a flimsy foundation. The judge was equally unimpressed with Drake's claim that the song became defamatory because UMG repeatedly republished it and drove its success. Here is where she said, this argument is logically incoherent. If the recording was non-actionable opinion at the time it was initially produced, then its republication would not expose UMG to liability. She's basically saying if it wasn't defamation before, I think, like if it wasn't violating anything before, them republishing it wouldn't expose UMG to anything, or UMG not doing anything wrong for republishing it. It based off of my understanding. So yeah, y'all know, I thought it was crazy that Drake was suing after he done got whacked so bad. It's just like, just fade away into obscurity, girly. Why extend the embarrassment? Why just fade away into obscurity? You could have just, took a vacation for 3-4 years and they came out with something. People forget, you know how these people support craziness anyway. They support evil people anyway out here. So you could have just taken 2, 3, 4 years, chilled out, and came back. But no, he said, I would like to speak to your manager. He put on that wig, he put on that bob. And I was going to say the Edna Mode bob, but I'm not even going to insult Edna Mode like that. He put on that Karen bob and said he'd like to speak to the manager. And the manager said, guess what, girlie? I don't know what else to tell you. Sit it on down. That's what he, so, I mean, they're going to try and appeal it. I don't know how successful that's going to be. Anyway, thank y'all so much for watching. Love y'all so much, and make sure you have a good evening.
And a hater done with dealing. Y'all know who I am, Adrian. I be in the cut, I sizzle